This is the interactive session where we give you an opportunity to air your thoughts, your views, your suggestions, your recommendations in the most respectful manner, of course, obviously. It's time for you to ventilate, if that is the best way to describe it. What is happening in Nigeria needs no introduction. We're all too familiar with the current situation, especially concerning the rising cost of living. So that's what we're going to talk about. What kind of impact is it having on your daily livelihood? Can you make ends meet? What is the struggle like these days? Because according to recent data, as of February 2025, a staggering 60% of Nigerians are unable to meet their basic needs, while only 40% are managing to scrape by. Now, these numbers remain quite alarming, to say the least, in terms of the impact of the economic downturn on the livelihoods of Nigerians. And of course, we're talking about prices of goods and services skyrocketing rather consistently, despite the fact that we understand that the inflation is experiencing a downward trend. So let's get the conversation started. We'd love to hear your take on, the state of affairs, the state of the economy, the cost of living. Are you able to make ends meet? Let's get some personal experiences going on this one. And we're premising this discussion against the backdrop of that youth corps member who was overwhelmed by the cost of living as she's serving her fatherland, and that has generated quite the heated debate because the NYC was not particularly happy about that young lady expressing her views, saying that it might be true that you're experiencing all of these things, but you can't say it because you are essentially working for the federal government as a corps member, because they are like your employee, because they pay you at the end of the month. But for most Nigerians, that is missing the point by a mile, because the key issue is that Nigerians cannot afford to live a healthy life, or a meaningful one for that matter, under these current harsh economic environments that we are experiencing right now. Energy costs, medical costs, education, rent, food, everything through the roof. Nigerians are paying more than 100% what they used to pay a year ago, and more than 200% depending on the sector some 2-3 years ago. I believe we have our first caller from Maiduguri. Shatima is calling us, is on the line. Hello, Shatima. Good morning.
Good morning, Abdullahi.
Good morning, Madam Shatima. How are you this morning?
Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah.
Good to hear that. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Talking about cost of living.
Yeah.
Abdullahi, to be sincere, it is not easy. It was only God that are doing it. We cannot say anything about it, rather to say we thank God, provided we are alive and we are just still healthy. But we are praying for Nigerians who are ill. May Allah give them their health back. But in terms of cost of living, even an animal in this Nigeria knows that the things have changed. Things have changed. Honestly speaking, something that is within the reach of a Nigerian now is beyond his reach. There is nothing we can do rather than to keep on praying. Almighty Allah have tested us, and He have given us these honest people in the affairs of the government. But what we are trying to make them to understand is we are human like them. We are human like them, and one day we will leave this temporary world. We are going back to our permanent home. That is, we find ourselves in our grave. Our forefathers are not here again. Our uncles are not here again. There are very few that they are still with us, and even that few that they are with us, they are no longer enjoying the living. Or rather, some of them, they were even praying for them to leave because of the hardship that they find themselves. You have subjected your brothers and sisters into unnecessary difficulties, artificial difficulties. All this poverty that is running in Nigeria, it is artificial. We are not supposed to experience all this kind of life. To be sincere, this is a rich country. Even in the international international community, they are calling us a rich country with poor people. You see, the country, everyone knows that is damn rich, but few families hijack the whole resources, enjoying themselves. But they should understand that this living is temporary. It's temporary. But we are still telling them to understand that whatever you do, you will account for it. If you do good, you will account for it.
Right.
If you do bad, you will account for it. This is for sure. Because Almighty Allah will never cheat. He has prohibited himself from cheating. Talk less of you, human, and cheat your fellow human. It's very, very alarming. It's very, very disgraceful. As a human, you make things difficulties. You make things difficult simply because you have a control over the government. It's not this way. You cannot run government to subject your people into unnecessary difficulties simply because you have been opportune. You have to understand that these people that you are maltreating, they are the ones that cast their vote for you to become what you are today. Without these people, you cannot find yourself in that corridor of power. You people should understand this. We don't know whether they have forgot that some of them they are Christians and some of them they are Muslims. We have books who guide our conduct and have spelled everything for us. We have to, even though if we cannot follow that book strictly, we should open mind as a human. As a human, we should open mind and treat our fellow human justly. It is very unfortunate, Abdullahi.
Yeah.
Very, very unfortunate. Today, people are feeding themselves out of grasses. A human is eating grass. You are there eating foreign rice. It's very, very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. But we thank God, one day we will not find ourselves in this world. We are going to live, whether we like it or not. And those who have been cheating us, we will strike a balance in hereafter. Because God will place all of us before Him and He will judge. But on that day, anybody that has been cheated, you can see smile on his face. Why? Because what he has been cheated for, what they have denied for him, he will get it back.
Right.
So they should understand this. Honestly speaking, it's very, very unfortunate. They make education unaccessible.
Right.
Security is not there. Hospital, you cannot get it as an ordinary Nigerian. Even this fertilizer for farmers, to use it and till the ground and crop and make the crop to germinate is not there.
Okay.
It's very, very unfortunate. I don't know what kind of wickedness is this. It's just you find yourself in the corridor of power, you turn to be wicked heart. We should understand. We should understand. We should treat our fellow brothers softly, gently, with your own kind of mind.
Yeah.
That's my text. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Shatima. As always, a pleasure hearing from you. Let me just be honest. That whole assessment just put me in a very somber mood. I've been in a somber mood already, but yeah, it's just that you get a sense there are Nigerians who can only double down on what Shatima just said. The irony of the statement, rich country, poor people, is evident. And to the next point he said, we have Christians and Muslims in government, right? Imagine if our leaders are good Muslims and good Christians. As the religion espouses, we shouldn't be in this mess that many Nigerians are dealing with day in, day out. Let's speak to our next caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Alhaji Abdullahi.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Who is on the line and where are you calling from?
Thank you. Umar Farouk Said from Funtua.
Umar Farouk, how is Funtua this morning?
Alhamdulillah.
Good to hear that. Please go ahead.
Yeah. With regard to this issue of cost of living, I think there are two dimensions or perspectives to it. One is the oil politics in Nigeria. This oil politics is very costly and devastating on the economy because oil seems to be the major contributor to our GDP. And if you play politics with this oil, everybody bears the brunt. So that is why we are in this quagmire. Our leaders know what to do. In as much as our well-being depends on the prices of these petroleum resources, they need to do something realistic and balancing that will cushion the effect of this sale price increase. And another dimension to it is that in Nigeria, where there is no practical price control, business operators tend to take advantage of their customers. When the price of something goes up, it hardly comes down. Imagine the cost of rent has increased, and you can imagine what does the cost of fuel have to do with maintaining property, landed property for that matter. They have no connection whatsoever, but they are increasing the rent simply because the price of petrol has gone up. So we need to be humane in the way and manner we are taking advantage of the vulnerable citizens. The government should do something from their own part, and the business operators have to do something as well. So it all boils down to our moral standard, our human feelings to ameliorate the situation.
All right.
So our leaders, as well as those who call the shots in terms of economic activities, they need to have human hearts. Our religious leaders should preach to these people that they should let the poor breathe. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Umar. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for calling. And I think the key takeaway for me from Umar's take is that government programs and policies needs to have a human face, because at the end of the day, your key objective is managing the welfare, the well-being of a nation made up of people. So your approach has to be humane, and the irony, I think, in that comment is the fact that the president was very clear. He does not believe in price control. So I don't know. There is only so much Nigerians can expect. We have our next caller calling from Kaduna. Hello, good morning. Who is on the line? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Who is on the line?
Thank you. I'm Amina Saidu from Kaduna.
Amina from Kaduna. As always, a pleasure to hear from you. Please go ahead.
Thank you. The issue of cost of living, it's obvious to everybody. Even I think even the dead can feel it, that nothing is okay for Nigerians. Almost everything is beyond the reach of the Nigerians. I think a few days ago, I was talking to one of my customers when I went to buy sugar, and he told me a plate is 3,000. I said, no, but these have reduced now. We learned that the prices have dropped. He said, yes, that the prices have dropped. That I said, Ajay, I won't tell you lies. They've dropped, but it dropped with just 2,000. So how do I reduce my price for you now? Is it with 1 naira, 50 naira, or what? And I really understand with him, because it's the same thing when you look at the issue of petrol, reduction in petrol price. The reduction in petrol price that we see on paper, most of the time it's just a media issue. It has got nothing to do with the cost of transportation. The cost of transportation still remain the same or even more, because what the reduction is significant. And the man that owns a car on the street cannot say because the petrol has been reduced with 50 naira, then he will reduce his cost of transportation. This is very clear. So sometimes when I see the government celebrating reduction in inflation, and I'll ask myself, is it because they are not affected? If they are affected, they will know that this inflation reduction in inflation they are talking about is just a paper issue. Please, the media should also help us do the work. I'm happy the way Trust in particular, it's not because I'm speaking to you, but I know Trust in particular, they go out almost on daily basis, most of the time that I watch, trying to find out how things are being done in the market, prices of goods and all these things. You find that most of the traders will still give you the same story.
Right.
But you see, most other people will tell you that prices of goods have reduced and the market now, everything is okay. Nothing is okay. It's only okay for those that are buying in wholesale. The retailer is still suffering the same thing. The last caller also was talking of landlords increasing rent. You can't blame them.
Yeah.
Most of these people live on that. And to make ends meet, they have to increase.
Yeah.
Apart from that, when you go to buy building materials, now very little thing that will tell you. I went for keys the other day. Just a key that I used to buy 2,000-3,000, it costs now 12,000. So will you tell a landlord now that is asked to fix a key for his tenant to now still retain the former rent? He can. He wants someone to me, because most of the landlords, if you look at our kind of lifestyle, most of the landlords are maybe retirees that have built this house as a fallback. So they will need to do this to keep life going. See, schools, almost of the schools have increased school fees. Why? Because they have to increase salaries for their staff if they have to keep some of these staff. And if you look at what the increase on the staff salary is, something is nothing to write home about. Some people will tell you that they just have 3,000 naira increase. For God's sake, 3,000 naira increase at this time. I wake up every morning, I know how much I spend. Even if I have everything in the house, I must spend something. And then you give me 2,000 or you give me 10,000 as an increase for a whole month. What has it done? The government must be real. The government should be seen to have empathy. We shouldn't see them at the National Assembly fighting for useless issues. When they are supposed to look at what is happening to the masses, we see them fighting for issues that are not supposed to be there. They are not. In fact, the government is not helping, and I think the government is not ready to help because they are not ready to listen to the masses. All they want is somebody there that will come out and tell them all is well in Nigeria. Is it really well? That is the question. It's not well. Nothing is well with the Nigerians. Nigerians are dying. Cost of living is increasing. Health, most people are dying today because they cannot afford medication. You go to hospital. A few weeks ago, I was in the hospital. A lady, immediately they gave her prescription. She went. She came back and started begging people in the hall there just to get some of her drugs. So you can imagine such a person, if she can't get help, she goes home and lie, or she goes home and starts self-medication just to keep herself going. And if she's not lucky, she dies.
Yeah. My goodness, do we still have Amina on the line? Oh my goodness. I think we've lost the connection, but a fantastic take, you asked me. From start to finish, as always, one of our vibrant callers from Kaduna. And I don't know if you're familiar with this, the theory of Occam's razor, right? This idea that if you have two competing explanations for one particular phenomenon, the simplest one that makes sense is the one you go with. And she broke it down in the most simplest way that every other person can only agree with. And regardless of what the numbers say from the NBS and everything, these are the voices of Nigerians who are telling you the reality on ground. These marginal drops do not necessarily change the dynamics. I don't know of any transportation fare that has gone down because there is a 16 naira depreciation in the price of petrol over the year. Yes, it's good for people who are buying it for their personal cars, but for those in public transport sector, not much has actually changed by way of a reduction. Let's speak to our next caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Who is on the line and where are you calling from?
My name is AY from Niger State.
Come again?
My name is AY from Niger State.
AY?
Yeah.
How is Niger this morning?
We are all fine.
Good to hear. Go ahead, please.
I want to talk about the cost of living.
Go ahead.
Now, farmers, they are farming with their sweat, and they expect the farmer to sell their farm products at the rate of cheap price. After selling their product at the rate of cheap price, they now go to the market and buy another thing in high cost. Is it possible? What is the benefit of what is the benefit for them to buy the cement at the rate of 10,000 naira and buy the zinc at the rate of 70,000 naira? You can't see it. So if all those their things come down, the farmer is able to reduce his farm product again. But without that, the farm product cannot be reduced to the lower cost. That's my contribution to this morning.
Thank you so much, AY.
Thank you.
I appreciate that very precise, take, right? Because at the end, it's the same thing with the landlord's explanation, by the way. I believe my director this morning will not be happy to hear this one, but you understand, we all go to the same market, right? So even if they're increasing the house rent and you're feeling angry about it, they, from their own perspective, just like Amina said, this could be their only means of livelihood, right? I'm not saying that, they're right all the time, because sometimes the increment is quite ridiculous, but we all go to the same market. So you have to find a way to increase or improve your purchasing power by leveraging the only asset that you have. In most cases, that is, those houses for rent or schools or whatever businesses they may do have. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the program. Who is on the line and where are you calling from?
Thank you very much. This is Mr. Francis from Lagos.
Hello, come again. I couldn't hear you. I hope.
Yeah, this is Francis. Mr. Francis from Lagos.
Francis from Lagos. Good morning, Mr. Francis. Please go ahead.
Good morning. Yeah, my contribution this morning, that woman has really said a lot. By the same time, we want government to really help in the area of drugs in Nigeria. I'm very sorry that is not your main point this morning. But right now, from the southern part of this country, people that are doing fake drugs, that drugs have already covered everywhere in the country before they are going to their main source to remove it from the market.
Right.
A lot of people are dying gradually in this country because of fake drugs. The thing is already everywhere. Please, if it is one issue that Nigeria needs to discuss, not sexual harassment in the house. People are dying, poor people are dying every day, buying paracetamol that is sick. People have already had that problem everywhere in the country. Thank you.
Yeah. Francis, I think what you just raised is also equally important. We're talking about cost of living. Medication is also a part of it. But I think this morning we also took that story about NAFDAC, confiscating some 10 truckloads of fake medicines, expired drugs and things like that. And I think to your point exactly, this is equally an important issue that we need to also focus on, because that is also something that impacts the lives and livelihood of Nigerians. Thank you so much, Francis. I don't know, I think we got disconnected somewhere while we were trying to make that point. But thank you so much for joining the conversation. Let's get some more takes on this one. I think we have another caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Who is on the line and where are you calling from?
This is Dr. Philip Dede calling from Kano.
Dr. Philip, good morning.
Yes, I thank you too much for Trust TV. That is one of the stations I love to watch, because you people are very graphic in your reporting. And I believe people will continue to do more work.
Thank you for that.
Most of the time when I look at your news, 9 o'clock, very, very comprehensive. And I love it.
Thank you very
And
much.
not only that, coming to the topic on board now, cost of living. A lot of Nigerians are suffering. That is just the truth. A lot of Nigerians are suffering. And they don't know where to go and complain. But I believe it is the duty of government to reduce the cost of living for people and to make sure people should live in a safe environment. Not only that, to do a meaningful work that will enhance the growth of the economy. But it's like these things are failing. For example, if you go to Benue, Agatu, these are areas where people farm. They cannot farm.
Right.
If you go to Makodi again, most of the people that are in that place, they are in their camp doing nothing. And because of insecurity there, if people cannot go and farm, then what do we get? How can the cost of living will not go high? And not only that, the yam you buy there, you have to transport them to other areas. And these areas, they use fuel. And I believe I was expecting the government, if now you have to remove the subsidy, you should have plan B to make sure that if this happens, this could reduce the suffering of the people. I believe it is the responsibility of government to make sure that people should live a meaningful life. Live in a safe environment and pay lesser school fees. In those days of 1982, I remember when we were in the school, we were paying less. But now, you cannot afford 2-3 children to be in the same school. And you are a salary earner. Then what do you expect them? Many will be going into crimes. This is the issue.
Yeah.
Government should listen to the voice of the people. So it is we that put them there. They should be able to hear us. It is only very common in African nation that when you criticize somebody, if you love me, you must criticize me. And I should be able to listen to your criticism. Then correct myself, not to be pursuing the person in any way. And so the truth is there. Let them go to the drawing board and know what to do. 4 years can go, another 4 years can go again. But we are still living in Nigeria. We don't have any other Nigeria than this one we have. So God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Philip. Appreciate your call this morning. Enjoy the rest of your day. Some very fantastic takes, as always. Whenever we open the phone lines, what's one of the biggest takeaways is that you have some very invaluable contributions from Nigerians who not only understand the issues, but have ideas about what needs to happen to solve or at least mitigate the consequences of some of these government actions or inactions, as the case may be. And I believe the key takeaway for me from Dr. Phillips' take is that the government needs to listen to the people it is leading, to the followers, to the voters, to ordinary Nigerians who are the ones feeling the impact, directly or indirectly. Yes, I understand there needs to be a bit of a sacrifice, but I think at this moment, if anybody says Nigerians are not willing to sacrifice, that person perhaps is not being fair to Nigerians, because Nigerians have been making a lot of sacrifices. It's fair to even say that Nigerians at this point should run out of patience trying to wait for the government to deliver on so many promises. And this is not just about the Tinubu administration. I'm talking about successive administrations that have left Nigerians feeling less than satisfied with their performance. Thank you all for all the wonderful contributions, for calling in. That is it for Daybreak Interactive today. Appreciate you for calling and all those who attempted to get in on the conversation but were rather unsuccessful. Another opportunity will come your way in subsequent episodes.